On the day of the car accident, my wife was celebrating her first love's birthday. I died on the street waiting for rescue, holding my sick child in my arms. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to my high school days. A pure and lovely girl in the back seat blushed and asked me if I wanted to be her boyfriend. No, such disgusting things, don't ever let me hear that again. The students at Second High School were all talking about it. Alex, Alicia's simp, has fallen for someone else. During morning reading, I didn't bring Alicia her milk. During the break, I didn't do her chores. Even when Alicia had a stomachache, I didn't skip class to buy her warm baby formula and make her rose sugar water like I always did. He's been chasing her for almost a year, and now he's just giving up like that? Maybe he's throwing a tantrum waiting for Alicia to coax him. I think he's moved on. I heard the school beauty from Third High is chasing him too. With a bang, Alicia angrily slammed her English book on the desk. It's morning reading time now. If you want to gossip, do it outside. As soon as she finished speaking, I happened to walk to the door. The class fell silent. Dozens of eyes stared at me. Ignoring them, I walked to my seat, pulled out the chair, and sat down. When I opened my backpack, there were 2 glass bottles of milk inside. I guessed the maid at home had heated 2 bottles out of habit and forgotten that I only needed to bring one from now on. Alicia's deskmate, Lisa, poked her arm and whispered, "Alex is trying to make up with you. I told you he couldn't hold out for long." Alicia's eyes flickered, but in her sight, I handed the milk to my deskmate. "Here for you." Martin looked shocked and uncertain. "For me?" I nodded, then opened my Chinese textbook and started reading silently. Martin leaned over, curious. "Gee, why did you suddenly start studying?" Without looking up, I said, "I want to get into Class A next semester." I had entered Second High with the second highest score in the city. But to be in the same class as Alicia, I had deliberately left many questions unanswered during the first monthly exam and moved from Class A to Class F, just as I had wanted back then. But now, I had no reason to stay in this class anymore. Thinking about how the girl behind me had once become my wife 9 years later, but had put sleeping pills in our hungry child's bottle to rush to her first love, causing us to have a car accident on that snowy night on the way to the hospital. I couldn't forgive her. So let's end this ill-fated relationship early. At noon, Martin and I went to the cafeteria. After the chef served me the ribs I wanted, he smiled and asked, "What are you getting for Alicia today?" "We have her favorite squirrel fish." I paused, thinking back to my bold and passionate pursuit of Alicia in high school, how I had filled her desk with love letters, confessed to her loudly on the flag-raising stage despite the principal's warning. Even the cafeteria chef knew her favorite dishes. Everyone knew I liked Alicia. It was almost as if I would bash my head against a wall and never look back. Thinking about it now, it was all a joke. I shook my head. I'm not getting her food anymore. Then I paused and added, I won't be getting it for her in the future either. The chef's hand, which was about to serve the squirrel fish, froze midair. I pulled Martin away and turned to leave. But unexpectedly, I met Alicia at the end of the line. Our eyes met. She looked stunned. I quickly looked away and left without turning back. Martin whispered, "Alex, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly stop paying attention to Alicia?" I sat at the table, mixing the rib soup with my rice. Nothing. I just think it was pretty pointless before. After I stopped centering my life around Alicia, I realized how much free time I actually had, playing basketball with my buddies, arm wrestling, taking out the old test papers and practice books I had thrown into my desk, finishing them bit by bit. A high school life without constant worry turned out to be so youthful and wonderful. Several days passed like this, and then our school's dance competition arrived. The homeroom teacher told us to go to the playground to cheer for our classmates. I remembered, in my past life, I had bought all the flowers from the flower shops near the school to cheer for Alicia's dance club, even arranged the petals on the ground to spell out, "Dancers with no boundaries, chase your dreams." Even though the thorns on the flower branches pierced my palms, leaving them bleeding, I still felt it was worth it. In the end, Alicia's dance team won the competition with a high score. Amidst all the applause and congratulations, her eyes held her teammates and the honor, but not me. So this time, I used the excuse of feeling unwell to ask the teacher for leave and stayed in the classroom alone to memorize English words. Such foolish and ridiculous things. I don't think I will ever do them again in this life. Martin came back halfway through and said to me, "Today Alicia was completely off her game while dancing. Her eyes kept looking at the audience as if searching for someone. Then he looked at me again. Brother G, could she be looking for you?" "No." I finished writing a line of English words and calmly denied it. At this time, Alicia practically had the words, "dislike Alex," written all over her face. Me not going would make her happy. Martin continued rambling on about the dance competition. I wasn't in the mood to listen, but I didn't want to interrupt him. So I used the excuse of going to fetch hot water. Who knew? As soon as I stepped out of the classroom, I saw a few people walking quickly toward me. I was just about to step aside when Lisa, supporting Alicia, shouted at me, "Alex, don't you have a pain relief spray? Hurry up and get it for Alicia, she's hurt." I had indeed prepared a small medicine box because Alicia liked to dance. It contained many imported medicines that couldn't even be bought on the market, very effective for injuries. But in my previous life, she won the competition. So why is she hurt this time? "Alex, why are you just standing there?" Lisa said anxiously. I came to my senses, glanced at Alicia's swollen ankle and said indifferently, "It's expired." I threw it away. After saying this, I took my water cup to the water room, not even sparing a glance. What was I thinking? Her injury. What does it have to do with me? The pain I suffered in my previous life was far greater than hers. What reason do I have to feel sorry for her? Behind me, Lisa gasped, and I felt a piercing gaze on my back, as if trying to bore a hole through me. Because of her injury, Alicia took a leave of absence and hadn't attended school for 2 days. When my mother heard about this, she had the maid make some bone broth and insisted I deliver it to Alicia to help her recover. Because our families were close friends, and Alicia had grown up under my mother's watchful eye, she wouldn't be at ease unless I personally visited and expressed my concern. Despite my repeated protests, I couldn't resist my mother's persistent demands. She even instructed the driver to ensure I was delivered right to Alicia's doorstep to prevent me from escaping halfway. Reluctantly, I took the chicken soup to Alicia's house. It was late afternoon, and the leaves of the sycamore trees rustled in the wind. I wrapped my thin jacket tighter as I got out of the car and saw the white 3-story house. The last rays of the setting sun cast an irritating orange hue over it. It was all too familiar. As a child, I had often visited her home, and we had even lived together there for nearly 2 years. Every corner of this place was filled with our memories. Her despondent over a breakup, and me comforting her despite my own heartbreak. Her promising to be good to me for life, and me naively believing her. My heart felt like it was being torn apart. The pain made me tremble all over. After a while, I calmed down, opened the thermos, and the delicious aroma of bone broth wafted out. I put it on the ground and fed it to a stray dog. Such good stuff. She didn't deserve it. After the dog finished the broth, I prepared to leave. Just as I turned around, someone called my name. The voice was childish yet familiar, but I didn't even bother to turn around. Alicia quickly approached me, hobbling on her crutches, and nearly fell in front of me. Sweat dotted her fair forehead as she spoke with a hint of grievance. "Alex, what the hell is wrong with you?" I swallowed the lump in my throat. The girl in front of me, pure and beautiful, was once my favorite. I curled my lips into a cold, indifferent smile. "I don't understand what you're saying." Then I continued walking forward. She quickly blocked my way again, her chest heaving and her lips pale. It was clear those few steps were painful and difficult for her. "Why are you ignoring me?" Alicia's eyes were filled with confusion, as if she wanted to read something from my face. But she couldn't understand. She pointed to the food container on the ground. That bone broth was for me. "Why did you feed it to a dog? You used to insist on coming to my house even when I didn't let you. Today you didn't come up. I've been injured for days and you haven't shown any concern. What exactly— Oh, isn't this better?" I interrupted her coldly. "You find me annoying anyway." Alicia was momentarily stunned, then nodded after a while. "Yes, I don't like you clinging to me. I feel happy when you're far away from me." After saying this, she stared at me and pulled out a mocking smile. "Alex, you'd better not be playing some trick to get my attention. You know I hate that. A trick?" It wasn't surprising Alicia would think that. In my past life, I had indeed done many childish and ridiculous things to get her attention, although I eventually made her my wife. I never won her heart and ended up dying miserably on the street. So in this life, I won't waste any more time or feelings on her. You overestimate yourself. I don't have time to play games with you. I pulled my lips into a cold, emotionless smile. The bone broth was something my mother insisted the driver and I bring. You know how my mother is. Just pretend you drank it and don't give me any trouble. Alicia's eyes were filled with disbelief. You think of me as a dog? I shrugged. If that's what you think, I can't help it. After saying this, I didn't give her a chance to argue and walked away. Seeing her in class every day was hard enough. Now I just wanted to disappear. I had only taken a few steps when the thermos flew through the air, crashing to the ground with a loud bang. Then Alicia's furious voice rang out, "I don't need your stupid soup." Since the incident with the soup, Alicia and I hadn't spoken. I stopped involving myself in anything related to her, no longer clinging to her to gain favor. Instead, I focused entirely on my studies, aiming to return to Class A as soon as possible. Once I'm back in Class A, I won't have to see her every day. In 2 years, during the college entrance exams, I won't stay in the same city as her. Watching her break up and get back together with her first love, experiencing constant emotional turmoil. I will escape as far as possible, hoping never to cross paths with her again in this lifetime. However, the high school curriculum was quite challenging for me now, so I asked my mom to find a tutor for me. Among many candidates, I chose Sophia, a girl from Class A in the same grade and school as me. She was the top student, the one who had beaten me in the high school entrance exam, known to everyone as a super scholar. Our first conversation was very short. I said, I want to improve my grades as quickly as possible and return to Class A. She replied simply, "Leave it to me." From then on, I started spending more time with Sophia. Whenever I came across difficult problems, I'd save them up and go to Class A to ask her about them during breaks. Sometimes I even studied with her at a nearby fast food restaurant after school. Gradually, new rumors started spreading in Second High. People said the legendary simp, had switched targets and was now harassing the beautiful genius under the excuse of studying. This, of course, displeased Sophia's fanboys. One day after school, they blocked me behind the teaching building. "Alex, stay away from Sophia. A bottom feeder from Class F like you has no right to be around her." The boy who spoke had a buzz cut, a strong build, and well-developed muscles. He looked like a shot-put athlete from Class C. The 3 boys behind him, though not as tall, also looked fierce. They quickly formed a circle, trapping me in the middle. I kept calm. "Sophia is my tutor. I pay her and she provides a service." "I'm not taking advantage of her at all," the buzz-cut boy sneered. "Tutor? That's just an excuse to get close to Sophia, isn't it? Alex, you're shameless. You used all sorts of tricks to chase Alicia, and now that you can't get her, you're bothering Sophia. As a guy, I'm embarrassed for you." "Yeah, you're disgusting," another boy added. "She'll never like someone like you, someone addicted to chasing girls and not studying. Sophia is a good student. If her grades drop because of you and her college prospects are affected, can you take responsibility?" I felt speechless. Yes, I admit I used to be a bit of a lovesick fool, but now I had changed and was focusing on my studies. How could Sophia tutoring me upset them so much? And besides, I was paying her for her time. Enough talking. The buzz-cut boy lost his patience, took a step forward and bumped his chest against mine. "If we don't teach you a lesson, you won't realize your mistake." The other boys rolled up their sleeves, ready to fight. "What are you doing?" At that moment, Sophia appeared. She grabbed my wrist and pulled me to her side. She was small, her hair tied up in a cute bun, but she stood straight with an air of unshakable authority. The boys immediately dropped their fierce looks, even trying to look innocent. They changed their expressions faster than a Sichuan opera face change. "Sophia, don't be fooled by Alex," one boy said. "He's just a playboy. He couldn't get Alicia, so now he's after you." "We're doing this for your own good," another chimed in. "If this loser from Class F affects your studies, what will you do? He just wants to date you, unlike us who genuinely care about you." Sure, they called me a playboy while secretly trying to win her favor. Sophia cut them off sharply. "Alex is my employer." Her loud voice even surprised me. Standing right in front of me, she boldly declared, "I rely on him for my livelihood. Anyone who cuts off my source of income will face my wrath." A middle school girl acting tough. but her words had force. With that, she grabbed me and pulled me away quickly under their astonished gazes. Once we were out of the school gates, she inspected me closely, turning my arm this way and that. "Did you get hurt?" I shook my head. She let out a sigh of relief. "Good. I'll handle those guys. They won't bother you again. You won't stop letting me tutor you because of this, will you? I dare say no one can teach you better than I can." Seeing that I didn't respond right away, she got a little anxious. "I'll take care of your classroom duties. I'll even fetch hot water for you until you graduate. From now on, you're under my protection." She looked up at me, her eyes bright like grapes, and a faint sweet scent like lychee wafted from her. "Okay, Alex?" I couldn't help but smile. Such a small girl. Where did she get the courage to stand up to a nearly 6-foot-tall guy just to protect me? So I nodded. Honestly, Sophia explained things really well. Changing tutors now would have been inconvenient anyway. She relaxed and smiled. "From now on, I'll come to your class. Let them talk about me if they want." The next day, during the long break, Sophia came to my class as we had arranged. Students from Class A, always proud and aloof because of their grades, rarely interacted with those in Class F, so her arrival immediately caused a stir. Under dozens of curious gazes, Sophia calmly walked over to me, naturally took the pen from my hand, glanced at the math problem I couldn't solve, and quickly wrote out the solution on a scrap piece of paper. I gave her a thumbs up in admiration. A top student really was something else. Behind me, Lisa nudged Alicia's arm and whispered, "That's Sophia, the one who's been close to Alex lately." Alicia snorted coldly and turned her head, continuing to touch up her makeup, but after just a few seconds, she suddenly sat up straight and kicked the leg of my chair hard. Pouting, she said, "Alex, you're disturbing my rest." I frowned. I had been silently working on a problem and hadn't made a sound. The whole class was noisy. There were plenty of sounds louder than mine, so I ignored her and continued discussing the problem with Sophia. Suddenly, a ballpoint pen flew from behind and hit my notebook, leaving a long black line. Damn it. I had just solved that problem. Alicia leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, looking defiant. "We in Class F don't welcome people from Class A. Be sensible and leave." A bottom-ranked student telling a top student to leave? That was just asking for a fight. I took a deep breath and snapped back. "Alicia, if you're sick, take medicine. Don't act crazy here." Alicia's face darkened completely, her big eyes glaring at me. Lisa and Martin gasped beside her. I glared right back, then turned to pack up my books. "Sophia, let's go to the rooftop. Don't mind the lunatic." After saying that, I grabbed Sophia's hand and walked out. The noisy classroom fell silent, and all eyes followed us. Behind me, Lisa whispered, "Wow, is he really with Sophia?" Alicia's expression turned complicated, but she said nothing. Because of Alicia's little scene, the long break was almost over. Sophia and I agreed to meet at the milk tea shop after school to study. But when evening came and I was packing up to leave, Alicia appeared at the classroom door. Given her behavior during the day, I didn't want to waste words and prepared to ignore her, but she blocked my way. "I heard you want to get into Class A," she said. I replied impatiently, "Yes. So what? I'll help you find a tutor," she said, her voice unusually gentle and sweet. "The best one." "No need. I have Sophia." Alicia's expression soured, her lips pouting in anger. "What does she know?" "More than you do." I brushed past her without looking back. Under Sophia's tutoring, my grades improved rapidly. I did well on several small tests, but I was still some distance from returning to Class A. One day, while working on a physics test, Martin came running back with a bag of snacks. "I heard we're getting a transfer student." My pen paused. By my calculations, he should be arriving soon. The class bell rang, and just like in my past life, Alicia helped him into the classroom. He had gotten lost on the way to Class F and been hit by a basketball, injuring his leg. I looked at Itu Makoto's face. He wasn't particularly handsome, nor was he smart, but he was manipulative and opportunistic. Yet this was the person for whom Alicia had defied her parents, even going on a hunger strike just to make him her boyfriend. I had witnessed their entire process of flirting, dating, breaking up, reconciling, and finally breaking up again. I had taken advantage of her vulnerability back then. Alicia, deeply hurt, had drunk herself into oblivion, and I stayed by her side. I was there when she drank, smoked, couldn't sleep. When she cried, I cried. When she laughed, I laughed. One night, after she got drunk, she undid my belt. The next morning, she stayed dazed for a long time before saying she wanted to marry me. I laughed until I cried. I thought my deep affection would not be in vain. Who knew that when our child was just 7 months old, these two would go on a date behind my back? I was just a side note in their so-called grand love story. Itu Makoto's seat was arranged in front of mine. Alicia carefully helped him sit down. He thanked her, and Alicia shook her head, saying it was nothing. My heart ached. I quickly lowered my head, tears almost falling. In my past life, I had been arrogant and never considered someone like Itu Makoto a threat. But in this life, I just wanted to run away. After school, Sophia came to me. "Alex, your favorite oolong tea." It was funny. Sophia was my tutor, so logically I should be the one treating her. But she always bought me delicious things, saying it was to combine work and rest to improve study efficiency. I shook my head. "Sophia, I want a drink." So we went to the night market behind the school, ordering beer and skewers. Ever since deciding to focus on my studies, every time I met Sophia, it had been for studying. It was rare to relax like this. During the meal, neither of us spoke. She ate skewers with great appetite. I drank beer 1 cup after another. After eating and drinking, I was so drunk I could barely stand. She immediately reached out to support me. "No need. Don't be polite." "I ate well so I'd have the strength to carry you back." Without another word, Sophia lifted one of my arms and placed it over her shoulder, her arm wrapping around my waist. Her soft, fragrant body tried to support a grown man's weight. She was so cute it pained me and made me want to laugh. "Alex, try to be happy." She stayed by my side, silent when I was silent. After a while, she finally spoke softly. "I just want you to be happy." I let her support me, my eyes red. I couldn't tell anyone about my past life. No one could understand my pain. Even though I should hate certain people in this life, they hadn't done anything wrong yet, so I had no reason to. Sophia supported me the entire way, and I felt miserable the entire way. When we were just a block away from home, I exhaled softly. "Sophia, this life I'll be willful just this once. From now on, no one can make me cry." "Alex." Sophia's voice was soft. "If you want to be willful, be willful. I'll comfort you. After all, I'm a good student. I don't need to study hard, so I have plenty of time." Warmth filled my heart, and I smiled silently. The midterm exams were approaching. I started studying even harder, hoping to get into Class A as soon as possible. During self-study, Itu Makoto threw a paper ball at me, asking me to pass it to Alicia behind me. I was focused on reviewing the key points Sophia had marked for me, and this sudden interruption annoyed me. I remembered that in my past life, I reacted the exact same way, feeling nothing but hostility toward any boy who tried to get close to Alicia. This time I opened the paper ball. Inside was a piece of chocolate and a doodle of a little ghost face. Rage immediately surged in me. Back then, I would have blown up, openly staking my claim over Alicia and telling him not to waste his time. But instead, I just glanced at the paper ball and said calmly, "Dude, it's self-study time. Just because you don't want to study doesn't mean others don't." Itu Makoto's face turned red with anger. "It's just a note. Do you really have to be like this? If you love studying so much, why are you in Class F? Damn it, looking down on me? I'm in Class F because I choose to be, not because I belong here." After saying that, I stood up, gathered my things, and threw them onto Itu Makoto's desk. "If you like passing notes so much, fine. Let's switch seats." "Pass them all you want." Itu Makoto clenched his fists, angry. "Why are you targeting me?" "I'm not trying to take Alicia from you. I just wanted to thank her." Judging by his defensive tone, he must have heard about my past pursuit of Alicia. This note was probably just meant to embarrass me. Too bad, I didn't care anymore. First, you can chase whoever you want and thank whoever you want. It has nothing to do with me. Second, I'm giving you a convenient opportunity. You should be thanking me. Then I pulled him up and sat in his seat. Honestly, I was tired of being stuck between those two. This was a perfect excuse to leave. Deep down, I sincerely hoped those two would stay together and not harm anyone else. At that moment, Alicia, who had been busy touching up her makeup, looked up and frowned at us switching seats. Alex, what do you mean by this? Since she'd offered to find me a tutor and I refused, we hadn't spoken in a while. I turned and gave her a faint smile. Just helping you two out. No need to thank me. Alicia's face turned sour. Itu Makoto seized the chance, picking up the paper ball. Sorry for disturbing you. It's my fault. Alicia, I noticed you didn't have breakfast. Want some chocolate? Still angry, Alicia impatiently slapped the paper ball out of his hand. I hate sweets. Itu Makoto clenched his fists secretly, but I didn't bother watching their drama. I just kept studying. Soon the bell rang. I grabbed my cup to get some water, but Itu Makoto grabbed it first, looking at me with fake innocence. Alex, I'm sorry for what I said during self-study. Let me get you some water as an apology. Please forgive me. No need. Not letting me get the water means you won't forgive me? You hate me? My temples throbbed. Talking to this guy was exhausting. I just want to be friends, he said, still shaking my cup. Don't worry, I'll be quick. Ignoring my protests, he ran out. Martin looked puzzled. Is he okay? I shrugged. About 5 minutes later, Itu Makoto came back with hot water. Alex, here you go. As I reached for it, he deliberately let go too early. The steaming water spilled out, burning his hand. Itu Makoto screamed in pain. Alex, I just wanted to be friends. Why won't you forgive me? His shout drew the entire class's attention. Can you believe it? A 16-year-old pulling such childish, disgusting tricks. I used to think that despite his poor background and grades, there had to be something about him that made Alicia love him so much. But seeing this now, I nearly lost my temper. Alicia rushed over. What happened? Where did you get burned? Itu Makoto showed his red, scalded hand. I'm fine. Don't blame Alex. He didn't mean it. To my surprise, she ignored Itu Makoto and went straight to me, carefully checking my hand. Compared to his red and swollen hand, I only had a few small red spots. Are you blind? Alicia yelled at Itu Makoto. Can't even hold a cup of hot water properly? Her words stunned both of us. Then she grabbed my arm and dragged me to the infirmary. The doctor said, if you had come any later, the wounds would have already healed. Alicia cleared her throat and looked away awkwardly. On the way back, we walked in silence. Almost at the classroom door, she suddenly spoke. Alex switched seats back. Why? A long pause. Just before we reached the door, she said softly, I take back what I said about hating you. After a moment of hesitation, she added, the day after tomorrow is my birthday. The whole class will be there. Can you come? I remembered, in my past life, Alicia was pregnant on her birthday. It started when she, who usually had trouble sleeping, suddenly became lethargic and ate more. I even bought a pregnancy test for her, but she brushed me off impatiently, saying it was impossible. She kept clubbing, staying up late, putting on makeup, wearing heels, and eating irregularly. For her health, I secretly drained the toilet tank and tested her morning urine that she forgot to flush. Sure enough, 2 lines. The moment I confirmed she was pregnant, I almost jumped with joy. I even bought a small gift box with a pair of baby socks inside. I thought this was heaven's best gift for us. She was willing to carry our child. I wanted to give her a home, stay with her forever, give her my whole life. But much later, I found out from Itu Makoto that she'd come that day to break up with me. The child was an accident she didn't want. She couldn't tell if it was mine or his. If it was his, she'd be happy. If it was mine, she hated it. Unfortunately for her, the child was mine. Memories like that hurt. I rubbed my temples. I have something to do. I can't go. The person behind me stopped, her voice soft and pleading. It's at the manor we used to go to. I'll wait for you. I have something very important to tell. You? I realized Alicia and Itu Makoto were the same. They didn't understand human words. I didn't respond, and went straight into the classroom. The days passed quickly. Soon it was Alicia's birthday. All my classmates had prepared gifts for her. Lisa brought a crystal ball. Martin put a bag of crunchy noodles in a box. He sneered, Alicia used to bully you. Giving her a bag of crunchy noodles is already generous. I smirked, then turned to see Itu Makoto put a cheap hairpin in a paper bag, probably from a roadside stall. Too bad he didn't know Alicia never wore unbranded things. I kept going to class, taking notes, and doing my homework until school ended. Everyone went to the car Alicia's family sent. I avoided the crowd, went to an empty corner, took out a paper airplane from my pocket, and burned it with a lighter. In this life, I decided to cut my losses early, stay away from toxic people, and live my life well. I was doing great, and my future should be fine too. The only regret was the child, hated by his own mother, dying in a car accident. As the fire consumed the paper airplane, I silently thought, if I get a chance to fall in love and marry again, please come back and be my child. This time I'm stronger, wiser, and I will protect you. I went home, curled up with a book, and soon it started raining heavily outside. At midnight, Alicia called. I turned off my phone. In the middle of the night, my mom woke me. Alicia is in the yard. I glanced at the clock, 3 a.m. The rain still hadn't stopped. I went outside. Alicia stood there in the drizzle, her hair stuck to her face, her eyes shining with moisture. Her first words were, "Why didn't you come?" I stood 5 or 6 steps away under my umbrella, unwilling to get closer. I never said I would come. Alicia closed her eyes, took a deep breath. Fine, it doesn't matter. She went to the car, brought out a cake, and held it out to me. I waited for you to blow out the candles. I didn't move, just watched the rain drip from her hair, her lips turning blue from the cold. But I didn't feel a shred of sympathy. Our eyes met. She saw the coldness in mine. Her smile faded. She sighed. Alex, can't you just give in? Please show some mercy and acknowledge me. Don't look at me like that. My eyes fell on the cake in her hands. In the past, I was always busiest on her birthday, picking gifts, baking cakes, writing cards, decorating the venue. I never expected anything in return, not even to blow out the candles with her. I just wanted her to be happy. I didn't know why this Alicia suddenly started caring about me in this life, but belated affection was worthless. Alicia, don't you understand? I don't like you anymore. Not only do I not like you, I don't even want to be friends with you. She froze. Well, what? I switched seats with Itu Makoto just to stay away from you. I aim to get into Class A so I can be far from you. I used to like you and it troubled you. I've realized my mistake and I've changed. Alicia shook her head hard. No, it's not like that, Alex. I like you. From the moment you ignored me, I realized my mistake. I wanted you to come to my birthday so I could confess to you. I prepared flowers, fireworks, a 3,000-word love letter. Too late. Or maybe I'm just too vengeful. I learned my lesson after one heartbreak. Alicia, let's end this here. Don't come to me anymore. Our ties end now. The rain pounded on the umbrella. Without hesitation, I turned and walked back inside. I was so stingy this time I didn't even leave her the cheap umbrella. Midterm results came quickly. I made the school's top 10 and returned to Class A. When I was packing, Martin hugged me and cried. Brother G, I'm really going to miss you. Once you go to Class A, we won't see each other often. I gently punched his shoulder. I'll come back often to see you. You should work hard too. If you get into Class A, we can be desk mates again, Martin wailed dramatically. You might as well kill me now. Lisa gave me a notebook, wishing me to study hard and make progress every day to make Class F proud. Many other friends gave me snacks and trinkets. After saying goodbye, I grabbed my backpack to leave. Alicia, who had been silent, came over wanting to see me off. No need, I refused. Her hand froze in the air awkwardly. At that moment, Sophia came in, naturally linked her arm with mine, and under Alicia's jealous gaze, escorted me to Class A. At the door, Sophia went in first, hung my backpack on the desk beside hers and patted the chair. Her eyes curved into a smile. Alex, welcome back. I smiled, sat down next to her, and held out my hand. Nice to meet you again, Sophia. I'm Alex from Class A. 2 years passed quickly. During this time, Alicia sometimes came to Class A to find me. She brought meals, water, umbrellas when it rained. She pursued me as passionately as I had pursued her once. But I never responded. The greatest kindness I could give her in this life was not to hate her or seek revenge. I put all my energy into improving myself, avoiding entanglements and not repeating my past life tragedies. After the college entrance exams, Class F held a last gathering. Alicia got drunk, eyes red, and cautiously approached me. She hesitated for a long time before asking, Alex, I just want to know, Back then you liked me so much. Why did you suddenly stop liking me? I thought for a moment. I had a dream. In the dream, you weren't very good to me. I rambled on, but strangely, recounting it didn't stir any emotions anymore. It felt like those painful memories belonged to someone else. She listened quietly. By the end, her lashes lowered and her eyes became as calm as still autumn water. I thought she'd laugh it off as a bad joke. But she looked at me seriously. Alex, the Alicia of the past life didn't love you, but the Alicia of this life does. I took a sip of my drink, slightly tipsy. But the Alex of this life isn't planning to wait. When exam results came out, I applied to a university in the capital, a city I loved, a major I was passionate about. I would no longer lower myself or live without self-worth for anyone. On the day I went to report, Alicia came to see me off. In the crowded airport, her eyes were filled with reluctance. She opened her arms and pouted. Alex, you might not see me for a long time after you leave. Can I have a hug? Her exam results weren't good, so she chose to retake the year. This goodbye really meant we wouldn't see each other for a long time. I took a step back, avoiding her touch. Cutting ties decisively was my choice in this life. Her face was full of disappointment. All right, Alex, wait for me for a year. I'll come find you. I shook my head. I won't wait. Don't waste your time. At that moment, the airport announcement sounded. I turned and left without hesitation, not even saying goodbye. Behind me, Alicia's voice rang out. I won't listen to you, Alex. I will come find you. I put on my earphones. On the plane, I found my seat. Then I smelled a sweet lychee fragrance. I turned my head. Sophia sat there, smiling at me. Alex, for the next 4 years, it's your turn to take care of me. I smiled. All right.